The hunting industry is a $3.5 billion industry and is increasing every single year. This gives us a huge market to pull from of potential customers so we can solve their problems of not having a place to hunt and not knowing how to find a place to hunt.
Introducing Birdseye. Birdseye is an app that will alleviate these hunting concerns. It's fast, efficient, and user-friendly. You type in your location, and Birdseye will find you a place to hunt. Anytime, anywhere, any game, Birdseye is your one-stop shop for all things hunting.
I'm Olivia Rojas.
I'm Cole Crosby.
I'm Josie Magera.
I'm Caldwell Bobbitt.
And I'm Harrison Balmer.
So our first target customers are going to be the hunters. We're looking at people who don't have anywhere to hunt, and our young professionals are our first targets, but our mentor, Mr. Worthen, said that he would use our app, so we look at any ages, really. And then our second demographic are going to be landowners that are willing to be on our website and eventually our app. They're going to be flexible when we go from a website to an app and that are just looking for an extra source of income. We're looking at landowners that are in more rural and not as wealthy as like King Ranch owners because they're probably booked up for like at least 5 years. So people who are just looking for an extra source of income. Our product is going to be a website first. We already have the birdseyehunt.com domain name purchased. And then in year 2, we're going to have a developed app.
For our competitors, we have an indirect competitor of Onyx Hunt that is a mapping device for hunters, and we have 2 direct competitors of Hunting Locator and Hunting Lease Network that are 2 examples of websites that try to do the thing we want to do but are very expensive and you need a monthly subscription to use, and they're not user-friendly. As a business, Birdseye we are going to have no subscription, be very user-friendly. We are going to focus on day hunts, and it's all game in one place, and it's just an extra source of income for the landowner.
After talking to potential customers, we found that our main risk was liability. Everybody was asking about liability. So to account for this concern, we've met with a lawyer, and he explained to us that we can get all of the liability off of our company with the terms and conditions, and all the liability off of the landowners with a contract that we will provide. And the only time that the hunter on our website will be signing these documents is when they make a purchase on our website.
The ways in which we intend on marketing our service include social media, face-to-face, as well as print. We'll use both our Instagram and Facebook accounts, both by the handle Birdseye Hunt, to promote, advertise, and provide updates regarding the progress of both our website and app. We'll use face-to-face, which includes attending hunting expos, as well as setting up outside of hunting and outdoor shops to get a more direct and immediate response from potential patrons. We believe in the feasibility of this form of marketing after meeting with and talking with one of the co-owners of Los Cazadores, which is a local hunting shop here in Texas, in which he gave us a lot of great feedback and supported this type of word-of-mouth marketing. Finally, we'll use print, which just means direct mail with information about our service to landowners in more rural areas who may be older and not as tech savvy.
We found the total addressable market by taking the number of hunting licenses sold in the United States in 2018 and taking the percentage of that who is over 18 with access to the internet. That left us with 25 million customers. We multiplied that by our average unit price and got $1.7 billion. Our serviceable market was similar, but we took the hunting licenses sold in Texas.
So our revenue will come from a percentage of the transaction between the hunters and the property owners. Using data from the Texas Parks and Wildlife website, we were able to find the averages for the day leases, the short-term leases, and long-term leases. We are going to charge a higher percentage for the day leases because we believe that will be the one bought with the most frequency, and we want to have a premium to that. And then for the seasonal and long-term leases, we'll charge 13%. For our first year, we project a revenue of $89,000, and our only cost of goods sold will be the percentage that we give back to the landowners. And then for the second year, we project a growth of 80% as we get new customers, returning customers, and new listings on our site. Today, we are asking for $500 for our website, which includes the domain name we have purchased, a WordPress template, as well as hosting for a year. We are also asking for gas money to visit local towns and find prospective landowners. And then we would like some money to go to marketing purposes, including business cards, stickers, as well as paper and stamped envelopes to send out letters to landowners.
So our MVP timeline is going to start with today to March 14th. We're going to get as many landowner promises that will go on our website as we can. On March 15th, we will officially launch our website. And from March 15th to April 15th, we're going to track our success by seeing how many website visits we get. And then we're also going to use the $500 to continue marketing through social media and everything else. And then on April 15th, we are going to have 10 properties listed on our functioning website before pitch night.
Birdseye, a bird's eye view of hunting leases near you. Thank you.
I'll leave it to a hunter. Great job, guys. I think there are a number of competitors out there. I think focusing on day leases is an interesting differentiation. I think it also leads to other services you could provide the ranch owner, and I would be thinking about those. There's a lot of ways to advertise for people to come hunt on your land, but the real drawback is a bunch of people showing up to hunt on your land. It's not just the forms, it's all right, I'm going to put 25 people in a field on my property. Who's going to manage that? I'm going to put 10 hunters on, 1,000 acres or 3,000 acres. Who's going to manage all that? Show them where to go. You might ought to think about another element of matching, and that would be the outfitter, someone that is interested in making some money actually managing that. Maybe it's not the landowner, because the landowner doesn't want to mess with it, but it might be an outfitter locally that if you get enough hunters on the same day, they're in to go manage that process. And then you really have an interesting and unique, model to go out there and sell. But I love it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, initially when I first saw this, the first thing I thought of was Onyx. How do you compete against Onyx Hunt because it's such a dominant platform? But like Mr. Fulton said, I really like the idea of focusing on day leases. I think a couple things here. Whatever your mobile and web interface is going to be, it's got to be super easy for the landowner and for the end user, and you want to drive everybody to doing that. If either one of them can't do that and do the match and do the financial transaction and the waivers and all that stuff online, then I would just move on to the next ranch, move on to the next customer. That's how you're gonna remove a lot of the operational logistics of pulling this off. The other thing, going back to the day leases, I think you really ought to focus on birds. You can go do a lot of other things, but if you focus on dove hunting, maybe quail hunting, duck hunting, and just focus on birds and focus on those seasons and really laser in on that demographic. So a lot of people that a lot of us that own ranches or on long-term leases, by the end of typical hunting season, we're ranched out. So last thing I want to do is to drive 3 hours south to go dove hunting. But I would totally be up for finding a good place within 20 or 30 minutes of town to go do a day lease. But if that happens, I got to call one of these two guys or somebody else because I don't know where to go. I don't really want to mess with it. Right? So making it easy, I think you get a bigger demographic of end users, including the ranchers that may just not want to go mess with driving to Pearsall or Falfurrias or somewhere else for birds. So I think that ought to be your target demographic. And I agree with Mr. Fulton. Having a management service, if you could have somebody that goes along with a group over a certain number to manage gates, combinations, locations, setup, cleanup, and make it easy on the rancher, just go back to ease and convenience. If you can solve that problem to make the match and make it convenient on both sides, then you probably have a winning service, because that's where most people fail.
Yeah, good feedback. A couple of things I would add to that. I do agree with the potentially focusing on the bird piece. Like, if I'm a landowner, I don't care which dove you shoot, but I do care about which deer you shoot.
Right.
And there's a big difference there between the people you let on your land and how much guiding they need. I think that's a big piece. The thing that didn't come through for me in your presentation was how you all are really different from those competitors. You talked about focusing on the day leases, that's important, but what else is it about? What doesn't work about those other, the other competitors right now? That, I'm sure there's something there, I'm not really, so I think in your next presentation, you all need to really think about what doesn't work. I'll tell you for me, like the hunting locator, I think that's the one. The thing that I always hated about that, I've tried to use that in the past, is you only get to see a little bit of information until you pay their subscription fee. And you have to sign up for a year. I'm like, I just want to go hunting one afternoon. Do I really need to sign up for a year? So I think you really need to think about what's wrong with the other models and how do you really separate yourselves from the other and make that come out very clearly in your presentation.
Good job.
Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic job. I mean, if they're gonna do deer, they're gonna have to